Hey guys, this is Mallory Dunphy here. Just wanted to welcome you to the Live the Movie Crew weekly team hangout. I'm super excited for tonight's call and to be given the chance to run the call. I know that Eric, who is here, also has been just kicking ass with running these calls every week. And when we were given the opportunity as a couple of the leaders to join in and participate in the call, it was just super exciting. If you're watching this and you don't really know how you got here, it's probably because you follow one of the leaders that you see either on the screen or another one of us that's not here. And you might not be a member of our online system yet, but I definitely encourage you to absorb all the information that you can while you're on the call and you're watching the call. I'm going to share some pretty cool stuff that I've learned. Not only just in the online system that we're using, but just other stuff that has to do with personal development and leadership, things like that. So I'm really excited to share with you guys. And by the end of the call, if you haven't, if you've learned something of value and you've gotten something from the call and you really like the people that are on the screen, sharing the information with you, I definitely encourage you to click the button below this video and join our team. We'd love to have you on our team and to be part of this journey with us that we're pursuing our passions and living lives of freedom. So jump on board. If you are already a member of our team and you're watching this call and you're still new to the online system and maybe you just joined or you joined a couple months ago, and you haven't gotten all in with the products at Empower, you definitely just want to make the decision. Hey, Rob.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Oh, hey, Eric and Dario. I didn't even say hey to you when I jumped on first thing. So I was just saying how if you are a part of the team already and you haven't gone all in, by the end of this call, you want to make a decision to either go to your back office and get all the products, or at least set a date for when you want to definitely get all the products in the next month or two, because going all in, it's not just about us, getting commission for what you get. It's the products are incredible. I've been going through a lot of the products, re-going through a lot of the products since I've got them, and it's just such powerful information that you learn, and you just want to set yourself up for the best success that you can have. So, like I said, if you're not a member of the team yet, join us. If you are a member of the team, you're not all in, go all in. So now at this point, I'd love to hand it over to Eric. He's actually my sponsor, and I think he's the sponsor of most of us that are on the team. And he's just a great leader, and he's really guided us to this incredible momentum boost that we've had these past couple of weeks. So I'm excited for him. He's going to actually just share a couple of things about just a little bit of recognition of our team successes. So take it away, Eric.
Thanks, Mal. I really love your energy that you got going tonight, which is awesome. And so I just wanted to do a little recognition. This past week has actually been our best week since we've had our team in terms of overall new member sales, which is really exciting. And we're definitely seeing momentum. I'm going to recognize people for different things, but it's all based on where they're at and making progress. So it's all about progress in terms of getting results and also about getting the products. So before I recognize some of the people on our team, what Mallory said, and Rob wrote a note on the screen too, go all in, definitely do that. But what we're talking about is really about making that commitment. So if you're someone who has the money and the resources, but you're just a little nervous, take the action and be fully committed. If you're someone's like, I don't, but I'll work on it and I'll find a way to do so, then at least make that commitment to the plan to get there. So it's not if you can't do it this second, then it's not going to work. It can still work, but you have to make that commitment in your own mind that no matter what, you're going to find a way to get there in the near future. So yeah, definitely a great point. And it's interesting, the leaders that are on the screen here are all in members, and if you were sent here, it was likely you were sent here by one of our leaders who's also an all-in member, which are all the people that I'm getting recognized. So it's not, again, just about, like Mallory said, earning a commission from someone upgrading. It's the fact that the people that are getting the results right now are the all-in members on our team. So I wanted to recognize Mallory. I know that I'm not going to explain exactly how that all works with the sales and all this stuff, but I know that Mallory has got 5 new members this month, and you know, she's still. I'm not going to explain what the qualifications are for different things, but basically she's really close to qualifying for this level called boss. So she's working towards that in the last day here. So just building some real momentum, and you know, we're doing all we can to help her get there by the end of tomorrow. If she doesn't, for some odd reason, she's going to blow it out of the water, because all of those sales that she's got were in the second half of this month. So next month will be a piece of cake. I know Rob has had 3 sales this month and is building some real momentum. And I also want to recognize Rob and Mallory for consistency in terms of blogging, posting in their Facebook groups. That's what it's really all about, because you collect the leads and you build relationships with people, and you might get a random sale here or there, but it's not random. It's based on the actions and the activity that you've taken that ends up producing these sales. And it's actually some of the people that, you know, see a hangout or see a couple posts on your page and then join that end up being the ones that are so loyal to you. So I want to recognize you guys for that. I know Dario's been working on his brand, and I really like the new page that you created, which is a Facebook page, which is cool. And I know you've been getting those first bunch of leads and really building momentum there, so that's awesome. I know Elizabeth on our team had a sale yesterday and another sale last week, so she's starting to build momentum too. So you know, I really don't see why you know, all the leaders that I just mentioned couldn't all qualify for boss next month, if not, you know, qualifying by the end of the month tomorrow. So we've had our best week ever this week, but we're building towards April. April's going to be a huge month. All the leaders are going to qualify for boss, and those of you that are a part of it can do so too. You just got to take action. And you know, I'm really excited. We've been doing a great job in terms of mastering one thing at a time. So we really focused on Instagram for a while, and that was awesome. And then we kind of focused on creating a Facebook group, and a lot of the members on the page here, I know Dario just worked on his, Mallory's got hers rolling, Rob's got his rolling, and we've been working on that. And then Mallory and I have been starting to work on Facebook ads, which is a paid advertising source, and we've been kind of going through it this week, and I've been teaching her, and then I made videos for the whole team. So we're kind of moving towards that way, because our team is doing so well with all the stuff that we have, and some of the extra momentum that's going to get us to the next level doesn't have to do with anything that any of the leaders aren't doing correctly, other than not being in front of enough people, which means you just got to get people in front of you. If you have a great product or service, if you have a great team or tribe or mastermind like we have, and you have some great leaders on your team, then it's all about just getting people in front of that, you know, in front of the team. And the way to do that, obviously, is to invest in your business. So that's why we're working on that. So I'm excited about the results that we're getting, and also the work that we're doing and investing in. I know this call is all yours, Mel. I wanted to just hop in for a couple minutes and share some recognition and excitement for what we're doing and working on and continuing to make progress. And I really like how we've been kind of doing one thing at a time, and right now we're kind of moving towards Facebook ads, because it's time to just fill the pipeline, because the back end's you know, working pretty well in terms of building culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Eric. It's so exciting to hear other people's results. I think that's what gets me so motivated to work really hard, because it's seeing other people succeed and having them have breakthroughs is just so exciting to me. So thanks for sharing that recognition, Eric. That was awesome. Before I share a little bit about my story, and I'm kind of excited to share my story with you guys tonight, but before I share it, I was listening to an audio the other day that shared this simple concept that it was just like a light bulb, and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes total sense. So what it had to do with was just when you learn a new skill, or when you learn a new program, or let's say you start a new job and you're getting trained for that job, when you're only being trained by one person at a time, it's really hard to absorb and start using and taking action with all the information that you learn right away. So in this type of business where we're sponsoring new people to join our teams, it's really difficult for us to share all the information that we learn from the products that we have to our team members and have them absorb it, and then be able to share it with their team members, and the level goes deeper and deeper. So the analogy that was given on this audio was, if you're playing, I used to play this when I was little, but when you're playing the game of telephone where you whisper into somebody's ear, some random phrase, and then they have to go around the circle. And when the person at the end gets the final whisper, and they say out loud what they think is the saying that originally was passed around, a lot of times it's completely different than what was originally said. So it's just kind of funny when you think about, okay, I'm going to absorb all this information. I'm going to start doing what I need to do. And then if I try to teach, one of my new teammates or team members the skills that I've learned and are using, they're probably only going to pick up on like 25 to 50% of it. So the beauty of our system, why I'm telling you this, is that the products just are incredible, and everybody has access to them. So we all have the same resources to be able to utilize all the time. Yeah, we're going to learn from each other, but there's no way that I'm going to implement 100% of the things I learn and be able to teach it to somebody else to do too. So the cool part about the automated system is that it is automated and that the products are available to anybody that wants them. So that was just a little tidbit about an analogy that I thought of and heard about the other day. And now I want to tell you a little bit about me. So the cool part about Eric and I is that we actually used to work together, and so I already knew him and trusted him. He was actually a good friend of mine. I was in his wedding. I was a bridesmaid for his wife, and we've been friends for a really long time. So the trust factor was already there when he shared the information about this network marketing company, and I was like, okay, cool, this sounds pretty awesome. And at the time when he shared this information with me, I was actually out of work. I had broken my leg last year in January, and I was out for 12 weeks, and I was like, you know what, I have the time now, I'm going to take advantage of this time off and join this online system. And then I did nothing for about 3 months. I didn't take any action. I was just like, I was sleeping in till like 10 a.m. every day. I was just bogged down because I couldn't walk, and I kind of got depressed for a little while because I just wasn't doing anything, and I wasn't excited about what I was doing. So I ended up, when I went back to work after the 3 months of just being in the system without doing anything, I actually left and opted out of being a part of the online system for a little while. But then when I went back to work, something just didn't feel right. Something was still off. I wasn't myself anymore. And part of it had to do with just coming off of a broken leg and being down in the dumps for 3 months. Another part of it, just in the back of my mind, the whole time that I was working, I would see Facebook posts from people who were having success with the online business, and I would get jealous, and I'd be like, that's what I should be doing. I don't know why I quit. And it wasn't, I think it was like 3 months after that, so it was a total of 6 months from when I joined to when I rejoined, that I just knew I had to make a big change in my life. So I decided to quit my job and just take this and actually start taking real action, which was that made all the difference. So and the funny thing is too, our minds can't tell the difference between thinking about doing something and actually doing it. So over the 3 months that I actually didn't take action, I was thinking about taking action all the time. So I was still exhausted, but then I didn't see any results, obviously, because I wasn't doing anything to participate. But then once I realized that, yeah, all it takes is just simple action and being committed to the process to actually get some great results. So it's kind of funny. I've been in sales for like 8 years of my life. That's what I went into when I was first out of college. My senior year of college, I joined the same direct sales company that Eric and actually Rob was a part of too. And the thing that I think attracted me to the online system was the fact that I loved talking to people, and it was a way for me to be able to work when I wanted to, and also wherever I wanted to, wherever there's an internet connection, but also connect with people and help people, which was my biggest thing. So that's what attracted me to sales too, was being able to interact with people and all the time and be able to influence them in a positive way. So it just aligned with everything that I wanted to do, and it was something, the online world is something totally new to me. So the big thing was, when I first started too, was I think I was nervous to take action because it was almost as if I was afraid that if I succeeded, I wouldn't know what to do. So it's kind of funny when you think about, but if you're afraid that you're going to succeed at a high level at something, sometimes it's too far out of your comfort zone to want to take the action to get there. So it's just about baby steps and about building relationships along the way, and building a brand, and really knowing who you are, what your story is, and who you can impact with your story. So that's just a little bit about how I got involved with this online business that we're all a part of. And the things that I'm excited to share with you today, there are 4 major topics that I'm going to go over with you. One of them is just the power of sharing your story with other people. And it's not just like the network marketing story that I just shared with you, but it just has any story that you experienced in your life is just so powerful, and sharing it with people is powerful, and I'll tell you why that is in a little bit. The second topic that I want to cover is how to influence your own mindset. I think mindset is huge with anything. I just heard a quote today that said, your skill set depends on your mindset. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that's totally true, because if you don't think you have a skill, but maybe you could develop it, you're never going to have that skill if you don't think that you can. So it's all about mindset. Mindset is huge. And the third topic is the importance of a positive belief system. I think one of the biggest things that has made a difference in my personal success is just the belief that I can do it. And the people who are most successful believe in something before they can actually see it. And for some people who are unsuccessful, what their idea of belief is, I'll believe it when I see it. But that's not the case with a lot of the people that are successful, especially on this call today, is they believe in something even before it's manifested. So belief is huge. So I'll talk about the importance of a positive belief system. Fourth and final topic is I'm just going to teach a few techniques of what I've been doing and the top performers of our team have been doing to get the results we have, because I think that's huge to share with everybody too. So I'm just going to dive right into the power of sharing your story. If any of you who are on this call, you probably have are like-minded, so you have a similar mindset as the people that are on this call already, or on the screen rather. And when I say that, you're probably into things like personal development and growth and freedom, things like that. And if you read any personal development book, if you've ever read one in the past, or if you currently read them now, every single book, in the very beginning of the book, the author will share their story. And I don't care what the book is, what the topic is, the author shares their story, and it does a couple of different things. It just gives the reader hope and personal story, specifically your unique personal story. It gives other people hope, and a hope that's based on what you shared, no matter what they're going through or their current situation. There's probably at least one other person in this world who is able to push through and make it based on your story. What I mean by that is, if they are in a similar situation as you and they're going through a challenge that they don't really see ending well, if they read your story or if they hear your story from a video or something, and they see that you had a similar challenge but you overcame it and how you did it, that just gives them hope that, no matter what they're going through, there is always going to be a positive outcome for that. And it also inspires it gives them confidence that they can actually inspire other people with their story, just like you inspired them. And hope that one day, with hard work and persistence, they'll achieve great things too, just like you did. So sharing your story is huge. As humans, we all go through struggles every single day, and I think the big thing is, if somebody's really going through a challenging time in their life, either financially, mentally, emotionally, whatever the case is, it's so important to feel like they're not the only one and you're not the only one, because when you do that, you don't isolate yourself. And I think the worst thing to do as humans is to isolate yourself and not reach out to somebody else who's going through something similar. So the 3 things that I think sharing a personal story really does is, number 1, it's just a way for you to relate to somebody on a deeper level and just on a more human level. And number 2, it's an understanding. It gives people an understanding of why you do what you do, like what you're motivated by. And number 3, it's just an explanation of how you ended up where you are today. So sometimes if you look at a successful person in any industry, and they're just at the peak of their success, some people might think, oh, well, they got there because life was easy for them and they just kind of landed in that spot. And I'm going to talk about mindset in a second. That's just going to tell you why that's off. But why they're where they are today and why they're so successful is because of what they went through and their challenges that they overcame and their story. So it's so huge. So my advice is just share your story as often as you can. And as you share it, you're going to inspire other people to share their story, and you're going to inspire other people to join you in your journey. So second topic that I'm going to move on to is how to influence your mindset. And I think this is like one of the biggest things. And I'm probably going to say that about everything, but mindset is huge. And when I say mindset, I read an article today that had 2 types of mindsets, and I thought it was just a perfect explanation of it, and it solidified what I was going to teach anyway. But the first kind of mindset or type of mindset is a fixed mindset. And the second type of mindset is a growth mindset. With a fixed mindset, it's someone who believes that life happens to them and they have no control over their current situation because they think things like they think to themselves things like, oh, I'm not sure I can do this, I might not have that talent or special skill, or I'm going to fail at this, I don't want to be a failure. Or something like, it's not my fault, it's somebody else's fault, it's someone else's fault, or something else's fault. So with a fixed mindset, they worry about things a lot more than somebody with a growth mindset. They worry about things that are actually out of their control, instead of looking in the mirror and asking themselves the question of, how can I change? How can I improve so that I can get through this challenge and turn it into an opportunity? And on the opposite end of the spectrum, the growth mindset, they do see challenges as opportunities and ways to grow, and they know that they can change their current situation by learning a new skill or developing a new quality or trait. So to relate this, before I give you the 4 steps to changing your mindset, to relate this kind of back to the past couple weeks and how I've seen such great success just over these past couple weeks, is I looked at my current situation a couple weeks ago and I said, all right, I have been doing this, this, and this, but I need skills to do this, this, and this to improve my business. And I put a laser focus on the things I needed to change, and I made it happen. And that's all it was. And it was just about a mindset switch. And I challenged the way I was thinking in the past, and I just drove forward with a new outlook. And these are the 4 steps. So you might want to write these down. This was great information that I learned today. So the 4 steps to changing your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Number 1 is learn to actually listen to the fixed mindset voice that you have. And all of us have it, even if we do tend to have a growth mindset in a lot of situations, the fixed mindset can come creeping up on you, that fixed mindset voice. So number 1, like I said, learn to listen to your fixed mindset voice. So basically, when you're faced with a challenge, listen to the questions that you ask yourself. Be conscious of what your mind immediately goes to. Do you tend to blame others when bad things happen? Do you question your ability to achieve a goal? Do you doubt yourself? Self-doubt is something that can take over pretty quickly. Do you envy others for being in better situations than yourself because you think that they have different skills than you? So that's all part of number 1. Learn to listen to your fixed mindset voice. Number 2, the step 2 to switching your mindset is recognize that you actually have a choice. So no matter what thought that comes to your mind, whatever negative thought that you have, it can be changed. And all it takes is just training yourself to change it and making the decision that you want to change it. These are some examples, and I already shared some of these fixed mindset thoughts, but the 3rd step is to talk back to the thought to that fixed mindset thought with a growth mindset voice. So when you think of something like, I don't know if I can do this. I might not be able to do it because I don't have that talent or skill. That would be a fixed mindset thought. So what you want to do to talk back to it, you would say something like, I'm not sure I can do that right now, but I think I can learn how to do it with time and effort. And then you just do it. So even if it's just changing the way you think. The second one example is, what if I fail? I'll be a failure. So that's a fixed mindset voice talking. So if you notice yourself thinking about becoming a failure, you want to talk back to it and say something like, successful people fail all the time. It's just part of the process of learning. So reminding yourself that, there are no failures. It's only feedback of what you can change and what you can improve on. The last example that I'll give is if you hear yourself saying, well, it's not my fault, it's because of blank, it's because of something or someone else, it's their fault. You say to yourself, if I don't take responsibility, I won't be able to fix it. I have to learn whatever I can to make it right. I have to either learn a new skill or develop a new talent to be able to overcome it. So it's just about the third step to changing your mindset is just talking back consciously. Even sometimes you have to say things out loud. Like, I think the other day, it was like 2 weeks ago, I was really questioning whether or not I'd be able to succeed at this business. And I sat down and I said, what is holding me back right now? And I was just afraid of failing. And when I realized that, I was like, well, okay, that's when I went into, and I've already talked about this, that's when I went into things that, how can I change? What can I do to make this better? What can I do to improve? And once I made that change, things started to change. Fourth step to changing your mindset is you take the growth mindset's voice, you take the growth mindset voice's advice and then just take action. So if you are learning about anything in life, it doesn't have to do with mindset, it could be anything, it all boils down to taking action. That's the final step in everything. You can learn all that you want, you can read every book in the world, but if you don't apply what you learn and you don't take action, you won't have success. So that's a major one, is just taking action. So you just want to learn and grow every day, learn from your setbacks, take on new challenges with an open mind, take responsibility for your current situation. So that just has to do with changing your mindset. And like I said, it's not an all or nothing type of thing. It's sometimes you have this fixed mindset voice in the back of your head. It comes creeping in at when you least expect it, and it's just important to be aware of it, talk back to it, counteract it with a growth mindset, with your growth mindset voice, and then take action with the new mindset. So, moving on to the next topic. Actually, I'll pause right here. Rob or Dario, from what I've shared so far, can you, if you want to give some feedback, or maybe something that you experienced in the past with a fixed mindset, and how do you change it to a growth mindset, or anything you got from the personal story information that I shared. Rob, do you have something to say?
Yeah. I think it also starts with just like recognizing that, or becoming aware to the idea that you can always find new ways to get better. Like you're always finding different ways to improve, but it's also like integrating and implementing what you're improving on in a way that allows you to take action. So there's a lot of people like that are all about growth, and they attend seminar after seminar after seminar, but they don't take any action. So they're really like wasting a lot of money. They just have all this information. And I think there's got to be a healthy balance between how you're learning and how you're implementing. And I think it should be a 1-to-1 ratio. Like, so I attended a seminar and I spent a month implementing everything that I learned and finding a different way to integrate it into my life. And I think that's just a great way to attack growth. It's just you want to focus on learning and implementing, learning and implementing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I like how you said attack growth, because I think what I did in the beginning when I first started with this online system is I just spent too much time learning. and I didn't take any action. So it's important to, even every single day, something that you learn, implement it. That's such an important aspect of it too. So thanks for sharing, Rob. Dario, do you have
Yes,
anything?
yes. I like the fact that you mentioned that it's part of our belief system that we have those two voices. Like one says go and do it, and the other one says don't do it. It's coming out from your comfort zone type of thing. So I do would like to give an advice. We talk to ourselves every time. When we're laying down in bed. I posted something about this the other day. When we're laying down in bed or maybe driving to work in the morning or something, we talk to ourselves. So every time you talk to yourself, talk positive. Talk about that you could actually make it happen because it's been done. It's been done. You can see the results that the people are having. So those it's really important to really take a look at yourself and say that it's possible. The only way I'm going to fail at this is if I give up or if I don't even try it or stuff like that. And something else I want to mention, like Jim Rome says, results is the name of the game. So absolutely, you could tell who's having results. Mallory and everybody else in the team, it shows that they taking action. It shows by the results. So that's about it.
Yeah, that's great. I
Back
think
to
there's a quote. I don't know who it's by. You guys might know who it's by, but it's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you don't take
yeah.
action with the things that you learn, you're not going to do it. You're not going to get the results that you want to anyway. And the time in your life is going to pass by anyway. You might as well do something with it that's going to improve your life instead of just keeping it the same as it's always been. So the self-talk thing that you talk to yourself. Sometimes I would catch myself having a negative thought, and I would actually have to say out loud and question why I was even thinking that. So it's sometimes is good to tell yourself and speak out loud what you actually want to be thinking instead of just letting it sit there in your mind. The importance of a positive belief system. So whatever you believe make up what your reality is. So, and sometimes you have to question your beliefs too, because if you question your belief, and you ask yourself, where's the proof that makes this belief true? And a lot of times there is no proof. So why do you have that belief in the first place, especially if it's negative? So if your belief system is negative, chances are that the world around you seems negative. So whatever you believe tends to come to fruition. Believe in what's possible for yourself and actually say it out loud. I've said this a couple times. There's David Wood, who's the founder of Empower Network, says, speak your world into existence. And I've listened to an audio by him three days in a row now that's called Speak Your World into Existence. And it's just so powerful how if you say something is true, even before you think it's true, and you say it over and over and over again, eventually it will come true. And it happens all the time. This past week, I was just sharing with Dario earlier today, when I started writing down in my notebook, I will sponsor 2 people for the team every day. And I started writing it in my notebook every single morning. And it's funny, the third day that I wrote it in my planner, I sponsored 2 people, and I was like, oh my gosh, this actually works. And I started to really believe it. So speaking your world into existence. So techniques, the last thing, it's 33 minutes in, so I'll wrap this up and then I'll have you guys share anything that you want to add in addition to this. But just the techniques that I've been doing that I think have to do with the sudden momentum and results that I've been getting. It all boils down to, in our business, it boils down to those 8 core commitments. And I have them, I should screen share, but I won't because I have a lot of things up right now. But I basically have 2 little Post-its on my desktop. One of them has the perpetual power formula, which lists out my vision. I I constantly remind myself of my vision. I know Rob's shared this before. I have a vision board and a PowerPoint on my desktop too that shows the things that I really want. So I'm visualizing those every day and subconsciously visualizing those. So, because I look at my desktop and not even know what I'm looking at, or not even really looking at it, and my subconscious is looking at it and getting that information. So that's kind of cool. And then based on that, I act a certain way. So the 8 core commitments I have listed on my desktop and a post-it too. And every single day, I have a planner that I plan out my time, so it gives me freedom to do what I want when I want. And those 8 core commitments is just what I do, and that's the action that I've been taking. So some of those core commitments you don't have to really do every day, because one of them is attend the events, which obviously you can't do that every day because there's not an event every day. But and things like listen to the Empower Hour calls, that's only one day a week. So really the big things that I do every day is I watch a module for one of the products that I haven't seen before, or maybe I rewatch a module that I think I would get that I would benefit from the information again. I blog daily, market daily. I'll dive in a little bit to the marketing because I think that's something that I think I struggled a little bit with marketing in the beginning because the concept of marketing online was a little bit new to me. So I think all marketing is just getting, like Eric said, getting in front of as many people as possible every single day and marketing your product, which is your personal brand and the Empower products, and becoming an affiliate with them. So one of the things that I do to market is just send an email out 2 or 3 times a week, and I know Rob does the same thing because he shared it in a previous call. But I send an email out to my list every 2 or 3 days, or 2 or 3 times a week. And then I also promote, when I post a blog, I promote that in all my social media pages that's on Facebook. And then another thing that I do for marketing is posting on Instagram. So that's just the basic things that I do. Do you guys have anything to add for how you market daily? Either Rob or Dario?
Yeah, like we were talking about, it's really taking action, doing the 8 core commitments. So I've been doing a lot of vlogging and stuff like that. So listening to an audio as well, and going through the module every day. Some modules that we have in the program. I've been doing that lately, and it works. It's just taking action. It's really what works. I'll get back to you.
Rob, anything else that you'd like to add with marketing?
I would say Instagram, 2 to 3 times a day. I blog at least once, twice a week. Email my list 2 to 3 times a week, and continue to add to my skill set within the business, and and my mental skill set, and those are the things that I continue to focus on.
Yeah, that's great. One of the other big things that I definitely do, besides following the 8 core commitments, is I've really honed in on who my target audience is. So who is just like me, who would want to be a part of something like this. So I boiled it down to somebody who is anywhere from 23 to 30 years old, who really wants to live a life of freedom, in a sense that they get to choose when they want to work. They don't have to work to have a 2 weeks vacation every year. If they're at a corporate job right now, there's somebody who wants to, break ties from that corporate job eventually and be able to pursue their true passion and help others do the same. So, I mean, the target audience is a really big key to success, because if you're just trying to market to every single person in the world, you're probably not going to get anybody because it's too generalized. So you really want to be specific in who you want to target. And when Eric and I first started to talk about having the team start with Facebook ads, he made a great point. And that point was a few years ago, before the online business started to really be prominent, and people would place things like they would place a newspaper ad, And the negative thing about a newspaper ad is it literally went out to everybody, and they weren't in control. Whoever placed that newspaper ad was not in control of whose house it went to or who in the house, got to look at the ad. But with online, it's just like you can be so specific in who you want to see the advertisements that you put out. And it's just such a powerful way to promote your information and really, get people on your team who want to work with just you and who really are inspired by your story and who really want to work hard to, build the type of momentum that you've built. So it's really cool to be able to market so specifically to such a specific niche with the power of online. And so determining the target audience is huge. And then the other thing that I would say is one of the techniques I use is that I don't know everything. And I think it's important to be okay with and understand that not knowing everything is actually something that almost everybody in the world who's successful knows. Because if you think you know everything, you're not going to learn anything. And when you try to teach other people to do something and you don't really know how to do it, you just come across as phony. And I think the last technique that I use is I'm just genuine all the time. And it doesn't matter, if I really don't know something, I'm not going to try to act like I know something and say, this is how you should do it when it's really not. And people can see right through that. I think people can see through, the dishonesty if you're trying to promote a message that you really don't believe in. So I think being genuine all the time, no matter what, and just if you don't know something, you just say to the person, I don't know, but I know how to find information about it. I'll get back to you. So it's just really important to be genuine and be honest, especially if you're new to this type of system and this online system. Like if you just joined recently or you're watching this and you're very overwhelmed with the information that you're learning and the techniques that you're learning, and you haven't had anybody, join your team yet, and somebody comes and it's like, oh, how many people do you have on your team? And if they're the first person on your team, some people would be nervous and be like, you just come join our call. But in reality, it's okay. Everybody starts in the same position where they haven't sponsored anybody yet. And the cool part is as long as you're honest and be like, hey, we're building a team of great leaders, and I'm really excited. And the team that I'm part of now is Live the Movie Crew, and just use our Live the Movie Crew as your team for now until you really get established and have a team of your own. So, and it's cool. I think Kevin Souza is another person I follow on Facebook, and he's been to a couple of the leadership events for Empower Network. And he said something that really struck me as an important mindset to have, especially when you're brand new and you haven't made any money yet with the system or you haven't sponsored anybody yet. And he said, well, if somebody asks me if I've made any money, if I've sponsored anybody yet, I just say nope. But I'm going to follow the people that do sponsor a lot of people, and they do make a ton of money instead of the people that don't. So if you want to join me, come on board. So I think that was huge, and just saying something like, I'm going to surround myself with the millionaires of this company or the people that have earned $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And if you want to come on board and see what I'm learning and doing and do what they do and learn from them too, you're welcome to, and I'm excited to have you. So I think that's a big thing too, is being not being afraid of not having any results yet, because everybody started in that position in the first place. Nobody had results when they first started. So just to recap what we've learned today, share your story often. I think that your story is more powerful than you think, and sometimes you forget who you've shared your story with and what aspects of your story that you share with people. And you might be talking with a really close friend, and you start talking about a time in your life when you did something, and they're like, wait, I didn't know that about you. And it's like, oh, and you don't really realize how many people know your full story and how many people don't. So it's really important just to share your story, and it's unique to you, and nobody else has a story that you have. So it's really important. Train yourself to have a growth mindset, and this takes time. Anything takes time. There's a learning curve with anything that you do. So, and like Rob said and Dario said, it's important to just take action when you realize what growth mindset you need to have. it's important to take action with it to get the results that you want. And always believe in yourself. Believe in the possibility of earning $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month or more, $20,000, $30,000 a month. It is possible because people are doing it. And if that doesn't prove it to you, I don't know what will. So you just got to believe that you can do it, and you can have that for yourself too, and it will happen. And the last thing that I'll close things up with, and if you guys have anything else to add or share, I'd love to hear some feedback. We got 15 minutes to spare, so we don't have to take up the whole 15 minutes. But the last thing is just commit to the process. Commit to taking the action every day. Know that you're going to have challenges that come up, but know that other people have had those similar challenges, and you can overcome them just like they did. So commit to the process. Rob, it looks like do you have something that you'd like to add?
Just keep, if you're on this call and you're not a part of our team, keep following us. Stay consistent, at least joining our meetings and learn what we're all about. And, I hope at the very least you're getting some type of value, that can help you in some way, shape, or form. So that's really all that I have.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, everything's a process. When I started just in business when I was 18 years old, it was very hard because I didn't know any skills. So you need to develop the skills. Now that we're on the internet and doing all the marketing online, we need to develop those kind of skills of marketing online and all this other stuff. And that's okay because it's part of the process. So every time I actually when I try something and it didn't work out for me, I used to just tell myself it's part of my story. I'll tell that later. I'll be able to share that with others. That it took me to go through all of this to where I am today. So it's part of the process. And I was thinking the other day I could also share something like this with the people who listen to me and also the people in my team. How we just not so long ago we got a little puppy. So I love dogs and everything. So I know Mallory has a dog and everything. But I'm sure if you have one, it's really nice and everything. So as soon as we got the puppy, he was really scared of going down the steps. But like we meant, oh, there he is. like we mentioned, everything's a process. So every day after work, I would get him go. I would go down the steps for the beginning steps, and I would give him a treat. But every day I would go like 2 steps, and he would come down. And then the second day I would go a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, and until he got really confident on coming down. But it didn't take overnight. It didn't take the first day, and that's what you gotta think about that and really understand that nothing's gonna happen overnight. If you want to become somebody powerful, influential, it's a process, and it could take a couple of years. It could take, but you just gotta ask yourself how long you want it to take. You gotta work on it every day. And what else do I have to share? It just, it feels good. It feels good to know that there's other possibilities. That's really what it comes down to, because back then I didn't know anything else that I could do, basically. I just thought about having a job. I thought about, what can I do to make money? And the truth is, it's not what you get from a job, it's who you are becoming in a job. So, if you're working, not against nobody like in Wendy's or McDonald's or anything like that, but who are you really becoming? Like, you want to become somebody good in the future, you have to do whatever it takes. You got to believe in yourself. That's also why we are here. Mallory, Rob, Eric, everybody else in the team we believe in ourselves, we believe in this team. So that's the part of why we are here. We believe in the company, we believe in our products, we believe in ourselves, and that's what it takes. You can do anything, but you just gotta have that type of belief, and you gotta work on it. So I think that's what I got.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Dario. Thanks for sharing. That's great to just hear you speak, from the heart, and just I just see our team going places. I just think I'm just so excited for the progress that we've made so far just in these past couple weeks, and just realizing that, Eric's vision for the team has room for more of your vision too, and we all have room for the visions of anybody else that decides to join us, because we believe in you. If you're watching this call, and I really want you to know that we believe in you, no matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is. You can do this, and sometimes you do have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and stretch your comfort zone to actually have some growth and get some different results than what you're used to. So I welcome new members to click the button below and join. And that's how I'm going to end the call. I'd love for you to have us, to have you join the team and be the newest member who's going to, dominate and be the next leader of one of these calls.
That's awesome.
So thank you guys for joining in and participating. I really appreciate your time. I know that there's tons of other things that you could be doing for this hour of time that we have, but I think these calls are so important just to learn from each other and just to see each other and collaborate with each other too. So thanks for being a part of it.
Not
we
a
will
problem.
see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.